I'm Ken, and you're watching Kilt Can Cook, the Scottish cooking channel that encourages young men and women to have the confidence and competence they need to conquer the kitchen. Guess what? Today is my birthday, and I've got my special birthday card a friend made for me. Looks like a vinyl record. I've got my free movie pass, and I got this nifty apron a friend got me. Aye, he's a Scotsman wearing a kilt, and he's got abs, much like me. However, unlike me, his are not covered by a layer of fat. So, because it was my birthday yesterday, I wasn't able to get for you today the risotto episode I promised you last week. What I am able to do for you is to get for you the top 5 ingredients you're going to need to cook just about every recipe you see on this show. Let's dig in. Number 5. This is an onion. You can do just about anything with an onion. You can fry it, you can saute it, you can chop it up and blend it. You can do all manner of things with an onion. You can make a delicious stew with onions. Have you ever had a French onion soup? It's delicious, minding the French, but it's delicious. I like to use onions in just about everything because when you saute them for just long enough, you get that nice sweet flavour. And I love that sweet flavour. So, an onion, they're usually about $1 a pound if you can find them relatively cheap. I recommend getting the cheap kind as opposed to getting the especially expensive kind, because as long as you saute it, it doesn't really matter, they all taste the same. Number 2, butter. Butter is especially important in baking. Now that's B-A-K-I-N-G, not B-A-C-O-N. I see where you could get the confusion. Now if you're a vegan, you don't use butter when it comes to baking or sauteing foods. You use maybe oil or something like that. But I am not a vegan because I am not outside my head. Butter is a delicious animal byproduct from a cow, as you well know. But if you've ever milked a cow, you know that cows are disgusting. Here on Kilt Can Cook, we use butter mostly for sauteing, when we want a nice lower heat for something, or when we just want a lot of fat imparted into an ingredient. And butter is our perfect vessel for that. Number 3. This ingredient is especially important to me because where I come from, food does not have flavour. Well, it does have flavour, but those flavours are mostly bland and dull and boring. Growing up, I didn't know food could taste good. I thought salt and not very much salt, and a wee bit of pepper, and sometimes Italian seasonings, and sometimes a packet of taco sauce were all you could have in food. But now that I've grown up, I realise that there's so much more out there. And you know what started that trend? The television show Essence of Emerald and his spice Emerald's Essence. And all it is this Cajun blend. It's got paprika in it, garlic powder, black pepper, onion powder, cayenne pepper, dried oregano and dried thyme. It's fantastic. I love it. And one of these days I'm going to show you how to make a blend of this yourself. But for the time being, I use this on almost all of my meats. It's fantastic. You should buy some. It's really good. Number 4, olive oil. Now this particular variety is extra virgin olive oil. Jacques, insert Jacques here. Thank you, Jacques. Now you don't need to go to your way to buy the extra virgin olive oil. You can just get the regular stuff. It's a lot cheaper than the extra. This I got at Costco in a 2-pack when it was a lot cheaper. And it lasts a long time. Because you don't need much oil to saute food. That's the best part about oil. Oil sautés your food. Oil and butter essentially serve a lot of the same purpose in cooking, not baking, very different, but in cooking, in that they impart flavour and allow you a vehicle to cook your food, for either sautéing or frying. Now, olive oil, or oil in general, can get a lot hotter than butter can. Butter, if you get it hot enough for long enough, can burn. And burnt butter doesn't taste good. But oil can get very hot, very fast. And that's why it's good. That's why you do deep fat fry with oil, as opposed to with butter. Now, personally, I don't think you need olive oil itself. You can use vegetable oil, you can use sunflower seed oil, peanut oil if you don't have an allergy. You can use rapeseed oil, which, worst name ever. Who called a seed rapeseed? That's just terrible, isn't it? 5. Kosher salt. Now, kosher salt I learned about from Alton Brown, who is a personal hero of mine. Alton, if you're watching, hi! Kosher salt is great for 3 reasons. One, it's not iodized. Iodized salt can change the flavour of your food. Now, apparently iodine can be important to your diet. I didn't know. I don't know why it's important, because I didn't look it up before I started this episode. And I'm not about to stop now to figure out why it's important. You can look up on your own time. Wikipedia exists. The internet exists. Do your own work. 2, kosher salt is great because it's flaky. And those big flakes, they stick to food better than table salt does. Table salt is rough and coarse and grainy, and it gets everywhere, and it's... Oh no.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
That flakiness makes kosher salt adhere to meat better as it is cooking. But when you're done cooking, if you eat it and you think, this could use a wee bit more salt, you get your table salt, you sprinkle it on, and voila, you have yourself just enough salt for your particular taste. Number 3, kosher salt. Because they have the bigger grains, it's easier to sprinkle that onto your food. It's very hard to over salt with kosher salt, but it is doable. I've done it. It's not pleasant because you feel like a numpty afterwards. So those are the top 5 ingredients you'll be needing to cook food in my kitchen. But you're watching Kilt Can Cook, the Scottish cooking channel that encourages young men and women to have the confidence and competence they need to conquer the kitchen. And happy birthday to me.